Avi,
Hello.
you know, I wish I would be there in person to give you a hug.
I know. I agree. I agree.
We're
I'm
get-
changing our names so that so that everybody matches.
oh, that's a good idea. Where are you
I
currently? Where are you?
am in upstate New York. I'm in
Oh,
Hamilton.
still,
Yeah.
still, is it cold? I'm in Mexico.
You want to know if it's cold.
Oh my goodness, that well, it is not only cold, but it's beautiful. Personally, let me tell you, I love the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's nice. It's nice. Now that we've got plow guys, it's nice.
Avi, happy holidays, because I know we're gonna work really soon and right now and everything, but happy holidays. All the best to you for a beautiful new year coming ahead for you and your loved ones. From the bottom of my
Likewise.
heart. From the
Likewise. I hope that you find this a very restorative holiday. I think we could all use that.
Oh yeah, but you and I go way back now with Scholar Lunch and all this. We've worked together with
Yes.
it has been what a great adventure it has been, more than an adventure, but working with the different students and to see their personalities and where their passion is. And you have buckled up a few in such a great way. There's kind of get many people have such problem with writing.
Yes. Yes.
It's not easy. It's not, it doesn't matter how old we can all be. Outside perspective, and you have been so good at that. That's another conversation we can have.
Oh, well, you're so sweet. I am lucky enough to be good at something that I enjoy doing, which is I know something you're lucky enough to be doing too. I'll do just a quick intro for the record, and then I'm just gonna pass it over to you if that's all right.
Okay, so in order for my PowerPoint to work, just a quick question. I should share my screen, right?
Yes, that
Yeah,
would be good. And
here's because I know you're in the driver's seat with the technology here, but whenever you say, okay, now go, Carlo, then I share my screen, right?
yes, perfect. So I
Okay.
will introduce you. We have Carlo Nicolo, who is an award-winning composer and producer. His composition awards include an Emmy, a Telly, a CLIO, the Milan and Florence Film Festivals, and New York Film Festival. After studying at the National Conservatory in Tours, France, he returned to Mexico City at age 17, playing violin in professional chamber orchestras, and was the composer, pianist for the legendary ensemble Nazca. Carlo moved to New York City in 1988, where he has been composing for films and television. So I can see the attendees, Carlo, on my end. So if there's any questions or anything like that, I can facilitate. But you are more than welcome to share your screen and get started.
Okay. Well, good day. I say good day because good day is better than saying good night. And I'm really thrilled to be here with Avi. Thank you, Avi, and thank you all for being here. It is I just absolutely love doing this because I think sharing my story can hopefully be helpful to you if you are thinking of entering the music world. I'm going to start a little bit here, not a lot, by talking about what Avi just said here in self-introduction and a little bit about myself. I started, as you can see here, I started when I was 9 years old, left side, playing the violin, and I started playing, studying privately. Then to go a little quicker here, by the time I was 14, and this is the actual picture of the National Conservatory of Tours in France. That's a city like 3 hours away from Paris. And I was there for like 3 years. So by the time the slide is over, I'm 17 years old. Here, it is important to know that professional experience does mean getting paid, but it means where you already have an audience and you already think that this is beyond just a project you're doing for school and everything. On the left, you can see a band I had, which was like a little bit of an instrumental progressive rock band. I played the violin in the band. I was also the piano player. Bunch of years later, New York City, Lincoln Center, 19, 96. So I'm trying to go fast. This is a Lincoln Center Outdoors Festival. Original music of mine with a band of 6 musicians I put for that project. That was wonderful for me. Other professional experiences. This is I did play professionally when I came back to Mexico. I played professionally in this orchestra, and a few years ago I came back to Mexico to do a concert, a tribute to the conductor who's here in the center, and this is like a flashback for me because I did play with this orchestra from the age 18 till 24, Orquesta Clásica de Mexico, and then 7 years ago I came back and the orchestra still exists. You can see the choir in the back here. I'm right there. I'm toggling my thing here. This is the composer, and he was my first the director, the conductor. He was my first violin teacher. For some of you who like rock and roll, here, the band, the previous slide I had here. This is a band, a well-known band called the Violent Femmes, who are very good friends of mine. I know since they were living in New York, and this was a 8,000 people concert at Brooklyn Celebrate Festival 7 years ago. Okay, that's enough about me, except for to tell you some of my awards. You can see a TELLY here in the left. That's for commercial, music for commercial I wrote. This is probably my biggest one, EMMY Award, music for a TV series. Milan Gold Festival, Best Original Music for a film I wrote the music for 3 years ago. So, I'm gonna go here. What are our first steps to understand the music history? Let's start to understand it first. As simple as this. You play an instrument, and let's remember your instrument can be your voice. That's the oldest instrument known to humans, right? So if you sing, even if you sing a cappella or you have in band, don't stop singing. In school, in the recess, after school, alone, or with other musicians in a band, or a duo, or just guitar and voice, or just yourself with your guitar. If you play a guitar, or yourself with your piano. Attend auditions to play instrument in school band. That's a great experience too. Whether you like it or not, you make that decision later. Orchestra band or musician in a theater play. You know that in school we all know there's end of the year plays, and music always plays a really important role in that world. And that role can, many years later, if you're in the music industry, can be a very defining moment, because music and theater, and music and film, and music and dance, they all interact and go together. All this I'm adding to this slide. We all do. We all love music. We listen, we search and listen to music with friends. And you know, when you listen to this, oh, have you heard Taylor Swift's latest band, or have the latest album, or that? And then you compare, and you probably discover things you had not paid attention to. And comparing a wide range of music, between yourself and with friends and other people, is really good to do, because it goes to show how many things you can have in common, right, with other people, and how to, like, you know, let me make it just a little comparison here. When you go to a museum, it is sometimes not so easy to learn how to look at a painting. Also, sometimes it's not so easy to listen to music. There's the perspective of enjoying it, and that's it. And there's the other perspective of analyzing it, discussing it, comparing it, and that helps you sometimes define where you want to go. And then early on, if somebody is a really, somebody you say, God, when I grow up, I want to be like this person, or this person can show me a lot of things about my passion for music, mentorship is really a great thing to do. And mentors can sometimes become your employers, or can guide you so well, and especially to take your passion where it should go, and opportunities for the future. And that is so important, all in context. Now you say, before I read what's going on this slide, I do want to say that, you know, professional also can mean, if you want to be a professional, how am I going to get paid for this, you know? So for that, you need to find like jobs in the music industry, in the music world. Finding a job, what does that mean? It's like scary. Wow, yeah, I love music, but then is this going to be my job? Well, then what do I have to do? First, don't freak out. You know, don't freak out about, oh, it's impossible, there's so much competition. Go and, yeah, do lobbying, do networking, attend concerts, go to music festivals, look for internships in recording studios. Yeah, I already said music festivals, film festivals. As we all know, music and film, even more today, keeps growing and growing. Sometimes it's the most important part of a film in so many ways. If the film is like Moana, and talking about a children film here that I just saw with some of my nieces. But you see, it's all being driven by songs and by great songs. Um, that's where the worlds are intersecting more than ever now. And instead of thinking, no, this is too competitive, there's very few opportunities, there's more than ever. So from that perspective, is how I think it should be always take it with a grain of salt. Look for internships, $1 an hour stipend, zero, and begin mingling with people that are in that world. Opportunities will show up. Take them, and if you don't like it, it's very easy. You leave, you quit, and you go find for a new one. And then once you feel confident, you attend auditions. Oh, we're looking for a singer for the band. Hey, let's go, let's see. The worst that can happen is that it didn't work out for you or didn't work out for the band. But keep looking and looking and looking and never, 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 never give up. Here's another really interesting part of this world. Create musical projects individually. Now here's you're creating. You're creating. That means let's do a band. Let's get together. We can go to the beach. We can go to the park with a guitar, my voice, and let's start writing songs. And I've started showing. Now on your phone, you can record your demo. I remember you used to need like that cassette. I'm older. The cassette you put on the box and you would record it. And that's how many of the demos went to record labels and things like that. And there's all sorts of places in the world where that's a fascinating story. How a cassette from a speaker this size was played to somebody who showed it to somebody at a record label. Back then, the record labels were it. And boom, that was what made it amazingly interesting. And then from this, there, that, and then fame and whatever. But here we go with it. I write this because it comes from my heart and my experience. These musical projects you do are your door openers. Never underestimate. Always be very, very, very proud of what you're doing. Right? And go with that confidence. So doors openers, quote, for potential work in the diverse areas of the music industry, such as composing for film, TV, video games, dance, and theater. Theater and dance. Now that area is a gold mine. Some of us may think, I'm not saying you do, but some of us may think that, wow, but I don't really want to do music for film. I don't want to do music. I want to have my own band. That's fine. But nowadays, again, the video, everything with streaming and everything, there's not a project that doesn't need music. And if you show your music to somebody and they say, look, how much can I license it for? Even if you didn't write it for the film, that's an avenue of opportunity. And it can be pretty lucrative depending on what it is. That's another whole area. Music for dance, all these areas. Dance meaning for dance companies, modern dance companies, or hip-hop dance companies that need a DJ, or anything like that. That is part of the industry. That's one part. Now, right after this, I'm saying here, which is true, recording, arranging, and producing songs. How many musicians probably are not the best guitar players or the best singers in their band, but they have an ear that's very unique. That is a very sought after opportunity too. There's the producer famous with his expensive cars and all that. There's the real producer who's in a recording studio and makes decisions. Music production is about making decisions with a great ear, a great open mind. This part I put left here because I find it very important. The business area of music. I would include myself. In the ones who never did that until we had to learn by making too many mistakes, right? But now I see a lot of colleges, universities, where you don't have to major immediately in music composition. You can do a combination, music business and music, or economy and music. Wow, if I would have had that, I would have been probably much more prepared to make certain decisions and not make so many mistakes. Look at all these areas that are available. Management. Being a band manager is not an easy job, and it's a fun job. And you can, without you, probably the band doesn't make it. That's never underestimate that one. Publishing, right? Owning the rights for the song, knowing about copyright, about how money, if it's used in films or TV or all of this, how to make sure you don't get like taken advantage of or the artist doesn't get. So knowing about music publishing and copyright is important. It can be very simple, but then there's always, like in business, in the business world, there are always people who want to make money off of you easily, and it's not that they're trying to take advantage, but if you don't know and you're not prepared with that and don't have the knowledge, probably you won't get as much of a good deal than if you do. Distribution, that's another end. Marketing is how do I make this band, or that the people attend the concert. You can play at a club and 20 people show up, or 100 can show up, or 50. If you market it properly, probably even more. Marketing is such an important part, and it is part of the music industry. So with this, I would say that I want to show you these again, back to myself. 3 years ago, the film that won the best music in Milan, the world premiere of the film during COVID was with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra playing the music for the film while the film was being projected, and there were 2,500 people attending the concert. And that was a great, oh, sorry, I'm messing up here. I'm sorry. Here. And attending the concert, where for a composer like myself, that's a dream come true. Have the world premiere of and there's a film projected in the screen here on every side of this 2,500 people theater, sold out, and the Colorado Symphony performing my music. And you can see how happy I am here. And I'll be sorry, I think I went too fast through all of this. And
not at all, not at all. I have questions to ask you. So
yeah, because I know I was, and I'm supposed to like give 30 minutes of information before we go to the questions, but here I would like to say I go with the flow and read. And
as a fellow fast talker, I understand. You just packed a lot into a slightly shorter amount of time. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
But I still have a few things that are not on these slides to say, but before I'm going to read what is on this slide. It says conclusion. Well, it's probably a very short conclusion, but then it comes from my experience. But this is what I advise a lot of people who want to get in this. A combination of all the above suggestions. All the above. Create music projects individually, how to find, attend concerts, look for internships, music festivals, attend professional, all of it. You're in your driver's seat, and here will allow you to find and develop your passion, purpose, and originality. Originality is, I should have put that in capital letters. Originality is what makes you unique, not better, unique. Now that I'm older, when I'm looking for someone to help me maybe arrange some music, their uniqueness is what interests me. What makes them special? What makes them different than many others? What makes you stand out and distinct and be distinct? Purpose and originality with a clear focus and clear goal for your future. I forgot to put, but for some people it could apply or couldn't, one step at a time. So search for as much things and then you have time to put it all the cards in the table and see where you want to go. You being in the driver's seat. Now, I'm reading off this I wrote right before. As an artist that I am, I write things in paper, so I want to be honest with you. Look at all my scribbling. Here's something that I'm adding to this. Passion and love of music should be in the foreground, always, and at the center of your involvement in the music world, in the music industry. External things, do not let external elements and things affect it, right? Oh, the money, I'm not getting paid enough, so maybe I should and that can, those kind of things you have can affect it and can make you lose focus, can affect it and it can get in the way. And once you lose focus and that passion, like a fireplace, and the fire is going down, and you lose it, then you, to my opinion, you lose everything. And it's not too late; you can get it back, right? But at the front and center is your love of music. Because if suddenly music becomes a 9 to 5 job, and I gotta go to work and everything, then you lost that flame, that passion that ignites you. And let me tell you, many musicians, including myself, have been in jeopardy of that happening, or it has happened in a certain moments of your career. And it's normal, and it's good that it happens, as long as you can bounce back and get it. Most important thing, if you're thinking of not being, of being a musician, music will never leave you. You may leave it and come back, but music is not going to leave you. It's always going to be there. And it doesn't have to be, being a good musician doesn't have to be you get paid for it, you know. Right? And being in the industry, because if you help the other musicians, help them by your outside perspective and understanding and knowing of business, knowing of copyright, music publishing, and a bunch of things, you are a crucial element there. And you have your passion too. When I say that because these are things we sometimes forget. We think we want to be at the center. Some of us want to be rock stars, or we want people to ask you for autographs in the street. I'm joking when I say all of that. If you love it first and you adore doing music, that is being true to that purpose. Only good things can happen. Only good things can happen. If you lose that, then you probably start losing your love for music. Why are you doing it, right? Avi and I started a few minutes earlier and saying we're lucky we do what we love for a living, right? Well, that she said in 4 words what I've been trying to say here for 30 or for 20 minutes or 15. At this point, I would say that I went so fast through all of this that I probably can't take questions in terms of if anything of this wasn't clear. Avi, you said you had a few that could probably help add to this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't matter how quick it is. It's full of things to pick apart. So one of my questions is for our younger viewers who are thinking about, where they want to go to college or where they might want to live after. Do you think that it's important to move to a music city, or do you think that it's important to grow sort of an audience at home first? Do you have sort of any comments on like the geography of where you should try to be a young musician?
That is a wonderful question. And there's nowadays, which is, I guess, where the question is going, and before. I would say before, many years ago, before meaning without the internet and all that, it would be important to get to a music city, even if it's a small or very musical city as quick as you can if you're in a very small town. But now, look, right, we're doing this. I don't know, some of you are, I'm in Mexico right now. And anyway, right now with that, you don't have to be in so much of a rush to do that. And I would say at some point you can also, so the answer is, to it, how important is it to get to a music city? Very important, but now there's less pressure to do it soon, to say, oh, I'm running out of opportunities, I'm in the middle of nowhere. The middle of nowhere is, now there's not a huge hurry for it, but there's another thing. The sooner you get to them, better, because you have to interact with people to get into the music industry. Yesterday I was at this dinner party myself where I met someone here in Mexico that may give me an opportunity. And I wasn't there looking for jobs, but once you are connected with people, not just in the music world, as you said, music city, but in the world in general, right? There's not a single thing. I can't imagine, even when you're in the car, you're listening to music on our phones. So the more you connect with people, opportunities may come, just not fall from the trees, your antennas are open. But nowadays there's less pressure in terms of to do that. And also, I do want to add a lot to this because the most important connections you make are when you're in university, even or high school or college, right? Things that probably be turn into some professional opportunity years later. The seeds are with being with people and being with people that you're in school with. And let's not forget, your teachers too can sometimes become on the side your mentors. So and I don't know to so many of us that are older now that has happened, but I still have certain relationships with some of the teachers I had as humans, or they still give me advice for life and for purposes. So there again, I steered away from Avi's question a little bit, but the quicker you can get to a place, you call it a city or a big town, where you're gonna be in person, talking and meeting with people, this is shouldn't be a solitary world. Music is teamwork. It's not like it is, even if you write your songs on your own and you want your own privacy and you don't want anybody bothering you when you write it. At the end, you want to do it. You want to be able to keep that love you have for it and share it. I think that's where it kind of goes, right?
That's awesome. I especially like that last point. There's no shortage of shy musicians who who should still get out there and do something. I think that that's a really important point. Do you know a lot of what you would call shy musicians?
Many, many, and at the end things fall into place. I think the ones here's my experience from what I've seen. Most of the ones that are shy are not in a disadvantage, right? I think if we want to talk of what would you rather be, shy or too pushy, I don't know. But there is also the other aspect of being trying to act like you're really too sure of yourself, and that can be taken as arrogance, right? And you go into that me, and too shy. It probably also will make the road a little lot longer, or not so much longer. But the arrogance and lack of humbleness is gets in your way. We think, right, no, should I go there feeling too sure of myself? Yeah, but combine shy when you have to and not, and that is how people perceive you. I'm gonna say this is a quote I heard, and sometimes I take with me, and two quotes. One is, there's never a second chance for a first opportunity. Now there could be a first chance for a second opportunity. And yeah, that is so true, right? If you have to gonna meet somebody, go there, go humble, sure of yourself. That's enough. Your work, if the person who's thinking of working with you or hiring you sees that passion, from my experience, that's what's gonna make you stand out. More than how you look. Of course, you're not gonna go looking horrible or anything, but here's the beautiful love of the art that you have, and that's what you have that is very valuable. And go there, yes, be very proud of what you're going to go show, because if you show insecurity, then that shyness is a personality thing, right? And shyness is great. I love shy people, because that doesn't mean they have nothing to say, you know. But if I'd rather be shy than extremely arrogant, I'd rather be shy.
Yeah, very well put. Very well put. I feel like I know a lot of very shy, very impactful people. And so I always try to impress upon students, even if being an actor or a musician or a politician seems like beyond you, there's probably some person doing a lot of work that you aren't actually seeing, right? So you can be there, sort of like what you were saying about producing and the business, right? There's so much about the process that doesn't require you to stand on stage covered in glitter or whatever it is you fear.
I applaud that. What you're saying there, Avi. It's called the behind the scenes people, right? The behind the scenes is so important. Who helps you sign your contract, right? Even including who's your sound engineer, right? Who signs the contracts under what condition, right? Now we're talking money, right? Money is how much money are you gonna get paid for it, right? Management, knowledge of music publishing, because when you're doing music, even if you make your own music for whatever purpose it is, right? That's intellectual property. Like, people in real estate, they own houses. Well, as a musician, as an artist, if you draw, if you paint, if you're a poet, if you're a novelist, you're it's not something you touch like a house. It is abstract, but it is worth something, and it is property, and we call it intellectual property. Many musicians, including myself, never even cared about how that was going to work. You're passionate, you go the music, and you live for many years unprotected. Unprotected, and probably a one of possible copycats that will steal your work, and that's one thing which sounds horrible. Or just you miss out on opportunities where you didn't know that if you registered it and you took it to this different performing arts place, you could get paid royalties for it.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes, yes.
Royalties is money you make for when people use when your intellectual property is being used publicly, right? And sometimes what kind of money will come if I play this in the street? Well, that depends. It depends. If you're within a festival, then there's a little $5, $2, $5, $3, $4, $8, $10. It doesn't matter the amount. Knowing how to collect the money that comes out of your royalties, the money that comes out of the usage of your music in public performances and public spaces. And that is another thing. So learning all of that, even if it can be too much at some point, putting it in the back burner for too long is something you could regret, because then you'd say, oh, I lost, I should have, I would have. But again, it's never too late. There is a second chance, the first chance for a second opportunity, even within for yourself. It's not like do or die. But I think it is good to be learning things. It is so amazing that you learn. All of us learn in our lives by making mistakes. It doesn't mean, and sometimes that you make those mistakes on purpose to bother anybody, but they wind up being best if you start preparing yourself with things that at first don't seem so important, right? Then there's your personal discipline. We can always do better, but just try to keep doing better, and that's your personal discipline. It's not, I want to do better because such and such is gonna like me more or something. No, no, no. Music is a very personal thing. It's very personal, but also it's teamwork. It is like that, right? It's like, I think it is. It's like dancing, right? You want to stand out. You may have a role in the choreography, but you're as a team doing that. It is a lot less individual than we think it is. You know, isn't that true? I'm asking myself the question: is that true? Yes. My most beautiful moments in my career, not talking about fame and that, was sitting next to that, standing up after that orchestra of 100 musicians and the conductor, and that was the music for a film that had a director, that had actors. So you're talking, who am I there? Nobody really, because I'm this little tiny piece of it. Being part of it is the whole thrill. And saying, wow, was that I got $10, 100, doesn't matter, but I did this professionally. I did what I love. And I was able to make it into something that other people, many, could see and continue to see. And that's already enough to say, well, next, let me look for more, and be always grateful. Be always grateful in the very simple way. Be grateful to the support you do. But if we all isolate ourselves in an island, that's good, but come back to reality, ever so often. But otherwise, what's the purpose if you're not going to share what you do?
Yes, I think you never agree with somebody more than when you're like playing music with them. It's like the clearest form of being on the same page with somebody, like humanly possible in my mind, other than dancing. I think dancing is also very much like being in agreement with another person, and just like very purely that's nice. Sort of bouncing off of that,
Do you feel that speaking multiple languages, which I assume that you do because you've lived so many interesting places, do you think that's opened up a lot of relationships or opportunities for you that you might not have had otherwise?
Well, it has certainly helped. Is it? Yes, a lot. It helps a lot, Lord. But I would say add to that, what even helps more is you as an individual understanding the other cultures, right? Because I might go. I'm not talking about my case, but let's say John or Sarah or somebody when we go to Italy. I don't speak Italian, but if you have the sensibility to understand the culture, and therefore that it gets you quicker connected to individuals, and then yeah, but how are we going to communicate? You end up figuring that out, right? If you know the language and you speak fluent Italian there, but you're cold and you're not, you go there or meet people that have things to offer to you, they may get lost in the shuffle even if you speak the language. So is it very important? Yes, but I would say open-mindedness to other cultures and everything, because at the end we all want to find our own voice, but the more we're nourished by other cultures, and that has been important all the time, and nowadays even more because I see on a global perspective and think there's so much more openness to collaborations between cultures. And I'm saying cultures in every sense, and then you're learning and teaching the other person, right? A rhythm from a certain part of Italy you've never heard, by talking to somebody, even if you don't speak Italian, and being there with, like, can you play that again? Oh, wow. And then today, boom. I think if we lose our hunger for learning every day, then also life can become dull, right? Always be willing to and have that passion. Say, I want to learn something more, right? I'd like to go back to something that has not been a question asked to me, but that finding your own voice. Finding your own voice is in a mistake I made. When I was a professional, I had a recording studio and I offered my composition services to the advertising industry and everything. I would go to certain meetings or presentations about me and my company and everything, and I would tell them I can do everything. Jazz, yeah. You want me to do classical music from the 16th century? And I came along bragging I could do all these things. And even if I could, even if I could or not, I never even got the opportunity to show that. I think when somebody wants something from you, they want to see what makes you you, right? And I have people close to me say, Carlo, don't try to sell yourself as a go-to-it-all, Rather go and say, look, I can give anything else a shot, try me, but here's what I'm best at, right? And you are going to earn so much more respect right away and trust. They say, the worst you can have is, I don't have anything like that right now for you, but you're more in the foreground than if you go there and say, try me, I can cook any dish for you, And I did that, and I fixed that later, right? And that person who did advise me that years before, I called him and I said, I remember you told me this once we were walking in the park, and I took it like, I don't agree with you. I want to go and people to know, potential clients, that, there's nothing that is too short for me, too big. I can handle it all. And that makes certain people say, wow, this guy, I don't know. John says he can do it all. Wow, we don't have time to try that out. Instead of, hey, wait, we have this that lines up with what he just told me he's good at. Let's give him a shot. And even there's no guarantee. That's when it comes to a job that you're going to get paid for. But you want people to remember you for your strongest areas. Be that how you sing, be that how you write music. And if they pigeonhole you, we know that expression, and then take you that, well, that will be their problem. But later they may trust you more when you say, now try me out for this, that, we haven't done. It may happen. But, a mistake shouldn't have that bad connotation. It's part of the learning experience. And instead it's best to absorb as much as you can, I think, right? And not just in music, but in, whatever you choose to study. And being so many universities and colleges now that don't pressure you to do a major. In my time, right? There was no like, let me choose later. It's like you gotta choose now, but I had chosen way before, right? This is what I want to do, and with all the problems I could have, I wasn't sure about that, which is one good thing. But then you stumble across different things. But I wouldn't say it, I would say it's not good to be to anybody to pressure you if you're 17. Well, if you want to do music, what do you want to do? Do you want to play the piano? Take your time and find how you can absorb things and put them all into becoming you, somebody that goes out there and shows others what your own passion and your own voice is within that world. Getting a little poetic here.
I was about to say, I think that closes it. That was amazing.
As much as when I come into these communication experiences of showing my experience and probably helping somebody like this, I find it really interesting that you plan, you have this, but I always go really fast through the things that are written down. But the discussion and everything starts, new ideas come up, and I figure if I write all those ideas, they're gonna have like 10 pages. So I keep it short and sweet, and then I expand in the moment. And trust me that I'm not improvising, because these are things I've known for a while, but depends on the moment. It's where I get that card and pull it out, like I read this right now, because I wrote it like 2 or 3 minutes before this. And it's probably there in the presentation alone. So if that is something that does happens to many of us artists, that we go with the moment, right?
Yeah.
And we go with the moment, and that's what life is about also, right?
That's the beauty of it.
That's the
Exactly.
beauty of it.
Well, thank you so much. I personally am just totally jazzed. I got to actually chat with you. We should do it again. But on behalf of students and whoever else was able to come by, thank you so very much. That was really interesting and uplifting, I think, kind of gives people hope when it seems very oversaturated and sort of hopeless. So thank you for that.
It is not. You're always going to find a fit for you. Be patient with yourself. Don't lose your own passion, your own voice, and don't give up, because it's an uphill battle, but it can be a quicker uphill knob and not a battle, right? If you have that passion, the worst that can happen is that it takes a little bit longer than what you think, but you get there, and probably in a different way than you expected. But that's the beauty of it, not knowing exactly what's going to happen. If we knew then exactly what's going to happen, what would be the fun part, right?
Yes,
You know?
very true.
Inform, absorb, love it, right? And go there, and then there's everything is just extremely honest, right? So how can it go wrong, right? It's to stay
love
in
that.
that path, and that's what I see from talking to you, Avi. Every time we've spoken to that, you do have that, right? And then there's the hard part, yeah, which can be, let me write about it, let me groom myself to the process. Hey, but then it would be easy, then it wouldn't be fun, right?
Yeah. Yes, well said. Well said.